Luck.
That's just math.
Investing is luck. Tawfiq min Allah.
Hey, welcome to Kabsa Boys. It's your boy Adi. What's happening? What's popping? Episode 261.
We're gonna have to censor the first couple of minutes of this.
Oh yeah, definitely. We're gonna start from the last one, like the investments.
Correct.
I got the homie Shams right next to me.
Yo.
I got number one in the building. Turks is still on vacation after the Drake and Kendrick beef. He still hasn't, resolved
Recovered.
his internal issues.
Yeah, exactly.
So he's taking his time. I think he's at the Vatican right now.
Still analyzing,
Talking to different popes.
the meaning of different words.
I mean, the stitches on those BBLs need time to heal.
Someone actually reached out to me. He's like, "Yo, you're such an asshole for trashing what's the name?
Turks.
No, for you not allowing the guys to trash Turks, yet you trash all the guys." I was like, I'll be honest. I said this when Turks was on that long vacation at the beginning of the year. If Turks is not on this podcast, I would shut this shit down.
I mean, he is the spice in
That's
our
it.
latte.
Without Turks,
he's the
you
soul.
can't. You can't function. So
He's the baharat. of
get
this
well,
podcast.
BBL Turks. Get well.
We'll see you soon.
But the thing is, he saw the episode, so Allah yesterday was going to do to us when he comes back.
I mean, I'm sure he enjoyed it.
Do what?
Oh, that's true.
Yeah, he's too fluffy to do anything.
He might just not cook for us. It's going to be a problem. Anyway, how y'all doing? Y'all doing well? Madresh, we've been talking for like 6 hours right here. How about we just start
literally.
about? Hey, let's
We've
start.
been talking about a lot of things today.
So last week we went to the community. What was it called?
The Creative Industry
Yes,
Summit.
The Creative Industry Summit. Weirdest name in the world. And you weren't there. Number
Yes,
one.
because I don't exist.
Good. So we will tell you the story
Tell
of
me.
our experience.
Tell me.
Right?
Paint me a word picture, Adil.
because some people are going to be angry, but
I am objective.
it's this podcast.
I am objective listener,
you
man.
know the vibe.
Yeah, I know the vibes.
So
We all know the vibes.
I was vibing at home, minding my own business.
As you do.
Big Shams.
Big Shams
Big Shams.
walks in.
Shams calls me up. He's like, yo, Her Royal Highness Noor Faisal is speaking at the Creative Industry Summit.
Yes.
Okay, I got it right. And how about we go? But I was like, hey, Her Highness is speaking. Of course, I want to go see it. They also had on the same panel, it was Baloo. I was like, okay. Hassan Ali Rida, which is, what's his name?
Rowing.
He rowed,
The
right?
Saudi Rowing Federation.
Yes. So I was like, okay, this is a good cast. Let's go check it out.
Also-
And Ain Jidda also.
Yes, and the
A puppet?
Who's the
no.
puppet?
Abla Fahita?
No, fool. What are you talking about?
There was a panel I saw that had a puppet as a speaker.
That was not the one we were
Gimmick
going
puppet.
for. Yeah. So the panel was about Saudi's new storytellers, and it was interesting.
We'll get to the panel. All right. So he's like, yo, do you want to go? I was like, I'm down to go.
It looks interesting.
So we meet up. We went there a little bit late. We got there like 10 minutes. The talk was supposed to start at 9:45 p.m. We got there at 9:30 after we parked all the way down. The parking at Jack's has always been an issue, so we're not going to complain about that. Right? So we park, we go down, we get in, we see the boys, we say hi to a bunch of people, and then we're on our way to the talk, and we see Corin from Personage.
Yeah.
Corin gave us some love. He's like, listen, it's pushed back because they started late. So we thought that like a half an hour, right?
Like the schedule basically is running a little bit late, right? You're not expecting it to be that late,
So we walked around.
to discover the place.
Yes.
Jack's is a nice place to actually do that kind of thing.
Well, you know what I understood from a lot of people? Some people that've never been to Jack's thought that the whole setup was from the Creative Industry Summit.
Okay.
Didn't know that this
Jack's
whole setup is
existed for
Jack's.
years.
Yeah, like this is Jack's. Like,
Okay.
like they didn't touch nothing. Like the paintings, all that was all Jack's from the beginning.
Because it's the amount of actual events that have happened in that location have been limited to mostly music over the past couple of years. They did a fashion one last year. I think it was the HIA Summit. So again, in terms of interests, if you're not interested in that type of thing, you wouldn't really know that.
Yeah, but we
something's
also
going
had
on
the
there.
Benali multiple times.
It's in a different.
Yeah, but it's also
setup.
connected to it. You always
Sure,
see it.
you had the new Saudi Museum of Modern Art,
Yes,
Samoka,
something like that,
over
yeah.
there. But again, it's a new territory for a lot of people.
Yeah, for people who never been there, like they wouldn't know that this is how Jack's looks like all the time.
Yes.
So went around the warehouses, met up a few friends. Some people had booths and so on. And the whole time, like when you meet your own people, right? They're gonna be honest with you. So we're walking around having conversations, and the problem with having this podcast is people tell you things that you're not supposed to know, right? So everyone's coming to us like, "Yo, man, it's not looking good." I'm like, it's all good, bro. Like, what? It's running a little bit late, like a half an hour,
Yeah,
right? We didn't know that it was running back 2 hours late.
almost 2 hours.
That's
Almost 2 hours.
Yeah.
That seems
Yes,
a bit
almost 2
excessive.
hours. An hour and a
Almost
half.
2 hours,
An
yeah.
hour and a half late.
Yeah, that seems a bit excessive.
So the talk that we wanted to attend at 9:45 did not start before
11:15.
11:15, 11:10,
Yes.
around that time.
Now, what's the problem with doing that on a weekday?
People have work.
Exactly. So we're watching how with every talk, more and more people start leaving, right? So then all the people that were like, committed to be there for whatever work, for whatever it was, like people were talking to us. They were like, yo, listen, like, I don't know, why do we have to buy our own booths?
Wait, boots?
Booths.
Oh, booths.
So like we're watching, I'm not gonna name any brands, so I'm gonna get them in trouble. But we saw some of the people that we know, like, you're like, oh, I had to pay money to be here. And there's people walking with CVs, not understanding what this is. There's talks about sales or whatever.
So basically they had two stages. When we walked in, one of the stages had a comedy show going on, which is nice to see.
Shout out to the guys of the Comedy Pod. They
Shout
did a
out
good
to the
job.
guys of the Comedy Pod as well. And then you had the big outdoor stage, which was honestly very well designed and nice. It had a very big screen. It was huge, and there was a very nice seating arrangement around it. The problem was this is Riyadh in almost summer. So it's really hot, honestly.
Yeah, it was super hot.
So we're chilling, and this is night, so I can't even imagine. Like, I think the summit starts at night, but again, we're talking about a big area here. And we started walking around and we were looking at the booths, and we were actually confused. Like, we were asking ourselves the question, okay, what are we supposed to really do here?
Yeah, that's my
Right.
question here. Is this a sort of industry conference trade show or more of a commercial event? Because the way you described it just now, it seems a little bit of both and all of neither.
It
Yeah,
had,
it sounds like a money grab.
so no, it had a bunch of workshops apparently, which required.
Adil's words, not mine.
Yeah,
Exactly.
It had a bunch of, so the way the ticketing scheme was also organized was a little bit weird.
Also, you had to pay for tickets.
Yes.
Yes,
Tickets is another thing.
yeah. So you had tickets for 75, which allowed you access to the exhibitor space, and then
Which is almost nothing.
and then tickets for 500, which allows you access to the stages.
Wait, 75, 500?
No,
Yes.
75.
75 3-day pass for exhibitions in food court. You get zero access to stages.
Yeah. Okay.
So you get almost nothing.
So what?
So
do
you walk around to enjoy Jacks.
What do you get with exhibitors pass? There's a bunch of warehouses that have booths set up. That's literally what you get. And the booths are booths that some of them sold stuff, but a whole lot of others were, representations of companies, like companies that just set up booths. And these are creative companies. So the question that I had was, what am I really supposed to do here? Am I coming to apply for a job? Am I coming to look for a job? Am I coming to meet other creatives? Like, that wasn't clear to me what the intention of that specific ticket here was, right?
Yes. And then there's the final ticket, which is 200 and 500. 200 if you're a student, 500 if not. So for 500, you get a 3-day pass, exhibitions, food court, access to stages, and access to master classes.
So the stages were basically where all of the talks happened. Okay. We only attended the one talk. We saw a couple of others, but we didn't spend a lot of time there. And that just seemed like a very weird pricing structure to me. And then there's a ticket for 2,500 that I think gave you access to some of the workshops or something.
I have no idea, to be honest.
I recall seeing that
It jumped from 75 to 250.
to 500 to 2,000 2,500.
There's a whole
I didn't see the 2,500, to be honest.
Yeah, I remember. I think that the 2,500 was the one that gave you access to the master classes.
there's a whole nother tier of 100 there that they just kind of skipped over. It seems to me.
That's why I told you it sounds like a money grab. Let me explain to you what the Creative Industry Summit is. This is according to their website. Since the first edition, we see creating an impact that goes beyond the limits of the purpose of promoting creativity by showcasing thousands of speakers, presenting hundreds of hours worth of content to shape the future of the creative economy, cooperatively and practically. Sure. We create a space for our attendees, from students to CEOs, to exchange and experience inspiring stories as well as innovative ideas that turn into reality.
So we create a space. So basically, تعالوا تجمعوا. This is what it is.
Look, we created a space where we're inviting a lot of people that might or might not come, but we do have panels. So come here because you might get a shot at talking to someone. But we all know that you're not talking to nobody. Some people actually found this like valuable. They actually went and talked to people and got something out of it. A lot of people in the industry, well, okay,
At least from what I recall, the people that we ran into,
the
people,
30 people that I talked to told me that this was all a waste of time. This is brought zero to return for their investment.
honestly, from what I recall, the people that I ran into, the ones that we said hello to, we're like, okay, have you guys been here long? Yeah, we've been here almost all day. Okay, so what are you guys doing here? So very straight up, I'm here just to reconnect with people that I haven't seen in a long time. I've been in the industry, I work in the industry, so it's a way for me to catch up with old friends. I paid 500 riyal or 500 riyal or whatever just to catch up with old friends. And for other people, again, like we saw people that, you know, are involved in different ways and shapes and forms, and they were just as confused. And like, yeah, we don't really know what we're doing here. We're just here, you know, for presence, or brand recognition, or awareness, or whatever we're going to call it. Maybe some people got benefits out of the courses or the talks. You know, none of the people that we know, at least I know personally, did.
Was it crowded?
That's a good question.
We got there late, so people were already on the way out by the time we were walking in.
No, people were going to come. Well, we knew that people were going to come. But what did people get out of it is the real question. And from everyone that I talked to, like nothing worth of like big value. Some people got little things. Some people like, I don't understand what I'm doing here. If we felt like we were in Egypt, to be honest, because they had almost half of Egypt there. Because the Creative Industry Summit started in Egypt, by the way, if you didn't know that. That's also another conversation that people in Egypt reached out to me and they were like, oh, by the way, it took them 3 months to refund us on some workshops. But that's a different conversation. We don't need to have that one.
بص حضرتك.
For speakers, I asked a bunch of speakers that I knew and I was like, why'd you guys go? Why'd you guys go?
Why'd you guys go?
And guess what they said? Oh, we saw the sponsors and we're like, yo, since it's sponsored by these people, it must be actually a big thing. Would you like me to tell you who the sponsors are?
And they had a lot of sponsors.
By all means, Mr. Adil.
Strategic partner, the Ministry of Media. Platinum sponsors, Riyadh Bank, STC, NBC Media Solutions, and 10X.
What's 10X?
That's a good question.
That's the Al Ajlan and Brothers marketing company.
Or agency, we're not sure.
Whatever it is, but we're not talking about this here, number one. We're just going to go and gloss all over this.
Gloss.
All right, gold sponsors. Ansar, no one that we really care for.
Okay.
I want to say the name because I wanted to get angry at everyone.
Okay, no, I'm just trying to...
No, there's a couple people here that I don't really like that much.
Okay.
Anyway, they had TikTok. They had a bunch of people. It doesn't matter. But those we're looking at the big ones. Like when you see STC and Ministry of Media and NBC Media Solutions, that's an automatic go. Because those are some of the biggest sponsors in the country.
True.
So when you see those sponsors, you know those sponsors paid because this is going to be worth a value.
They are hefty.
Exactly. Like we know how hard it is to get those sponsors on board. The question I had, I don't know who brought them here because it didn't feel like it was something worth of value. I thought it was too expensive. They're trying to make their money back and some. And I didn't see that much value of it. Until now, I still didn't even get to the talk. Okay, right now I'm just telling you the feeling and the vibe. Now, if people see value in it, yeah, go ahead, bro. Some people don't like hamburgers. It's all good. Like everyone has a different taste.
What I expected, honestly, to see when you talk about a creative industry summit, I was expecting to see the creative industry being represented. I don't feel like I saw that. And what I mean by that is that you have a lot of companies, whether established or up and coming in Saudi, that are involved in the creative scene in different ways. And we see the creative scene, again, that's a very broad term. Because music is a creative activity, right? Filmmaking is a creative activity. So what are you really defining? Are you defining it as advertising? Because it kind of felt like that to me. In a sense, it felt like, hey, let's bring the advertisers together, the people that create these ads, and we'll just put them in one room, and we'll add some people with merchandising potential, you know? And that, for me, that's not the creative industry. Creative industry is a much more... I don't know, integrated animal, right?
Bluntly, you are a company coming here. You took Saudi sponsors. You charged a bunch of Saudis. You did not pay Saudi panelists. You paid all the Egyptians that you flew in. Now, shout out to our brothers in Egypt. I mean, I wish you guys all the best, and this is your second home, and we'd love for you to be here. But we're talking about the summit itself. You didn't pay the creators here. You didn't pay nobody here. You brought a bunch of people. You put them on stage. You had them talk to a bunch of Saudis, and then you left. What value did you bring? XP, Middle Beats XP, just by experience, was 10 times more influential than this place was.
Definitely.
In terms of creatives, in terms of music, in terms of business, in terms of fashion, all the above. XP was 20 to 1,000 times more better than this was. And I'm not even talking about the nightlife part of XP. I'm talking about the workshops, the talks that they had, the panels. I'm just talking about that.
I agree.
Like-
They had a full schedule.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not even getting to the music
Yeah,
yet.
like XP, literally, you went, you had, because Jax is a big place, right? And they used all of the spaces they had available in terms of workshops. You had 6 different talks going on at the same time. This is other than the workshops. This is other than the booths in the middle that had their own small classes and activations that you could just sign up for, right? It really, like, I'm not a musician, but I saw the musician friends that we had, and some of them really dove into it.
Yahi, I'll give you one better. I did not go and see a guy on a panel talking about dealing with Spotify. I saw Spotify come and talk. This is how big XP is. If this was a mini XP, it would have been 20 times better. More than this. I saw no value in it whatsoever. In terms of money, I saw these people take money, but I saw nothing given back. And what made me even more angry was when me and Big Shams, right?
It's a very nice joke that you're missing completely. Okay.
When we went to the talk didn't start till 11:15, right?
So we're already cranky and we're hot,
We're angry as hell.
you know?
But the reason I keep mentioning that they're not from here is because the way they behaved and the way they dealt with royalty. This is where you saw the big gap between all of us. If I have royalty in the building, I'll make sure that 9:45 we start, not 11:15. And I won't let people stay in the heat because we were standing in the heat. So I'm sure everybody else was standing in the heat, right? So we go for the talk, right? Oh my God. Look, I know that some of you will really not be happy with me, but truths are truths. And if you don't like it, that's up to
This
you.
is our experience.
Yes.
Like this was genuinely our experience.
By the time the talk started, most people already started leaving, right? There was very few people.
A lot of people already
Yeah, I think there was like no more than 30 people. I'm being generous here.
Out of potential.
Out of
Bro,
potential like 200, 300
yeah,
seats.
Yeah, exactly. Seating had good 200. When we walked in, the talk that we saw when we first walked in was packed. Okay,
And that was like at 9:30.
That was at 9:30. So okay, people are gonna stay, but when you advertise your last talk as being 9:45 and finishing by 10:15, and I'm there and it's 11:15 and you just started, you're already off on a bad foot here with me, because this is the reason I'm here for, and I'm talking about me. You know,
Yeah, that's event management 101. Every panel in every potential scenario is a panel. Somebody's there just to see that panel.
so the panel starts.
They had a girl that I am sure she has the biggest heart in the world. I'm sure that she is a nice person. I'm saying all these positive things because I'm going to go negative.
I'm bracing myself.
I want people to understand that this is not about the moderator. The moderator has nothing to do with this, but she was put in a very bad position.
She wasn't the right person for that talk.
There's so many reasons, and I'll break it down for you, right? So the talk starts, and she starts with Her Highness, and then after it, Anjidda, and then after it was Baloo, and then Hussein, right?
Who some of these people had their names spelled as well
Exactly, yeah. Oh, so
on the screen.
to start off with, in Arabic you wrote Sahib Ismul Maliki. In English you just wrote Princess. There's Her Royal Highness that you skipped all over.
This is just presentation.
This is just, I'm just talking about what I saw with my eyes. Baloo, you misspelled his whole last name. You gave him a whole new identity, a whole new family, a whole new tribe, a whole new region. Like, that was so far off. So you could even get the names correctly. That's the 2,500 ticket?
Yeah.
Sorry, let me read this. 3-day pass, exhibition, food court. Well, it's the same thing.
Ideation workshop, which is, I think, access to the workshops they had. You could learn how to make a jingle
Okay.
for 2,500.
Automatic robbery.
Yeah.
So we're looking at the names. We're like, okay, you know what? Just let this slide. So
It happens.
as a moderator, you don't start off by trying to joke with someone on the panel about something that they said. Because she was like, before we started, Baloo sent me a message. And he was like, hey, do you have questions that we're supposed to answer so we can prepare for this? And she was like, I don't have any questions. I don't know why is he asking me that. That's a good fucking question. If you're going to be on a panel, you're supposed to ask, hey, what is required of us? what's questions coming toward our way?
As a moderator, which is something that I've done personally, at least from my very limited experience, it's just about framing where you want the conversation to go.
It's called talking points.
And understanding where you want to start, what kind of information you want people to kind of get, and how you want to lead from one person to the other in order to kind of craft that narrative, which again was what the talk was about. Saudi storytelling. For me, the question that I had, like, and again, I agree with Adil in terms of the person that was put in that position was put in that position. And as they seemed like a great person, but at the same time, you are not supposed to be the person. We're talking about Saudis coming from their own experience. Like what Baloo went through, you don't know what Baloo went through. Anybody else who lived in Saudi knows what Baloo went through
Yeah,
in
he fought
terms
with
of...
Bagheera,
I'll do the breakdown of it. All right. So she starts with Her Highness, right? And now Her Royal Highness is one of the sweetest people in the world, one of the kindest, amazing, big heart. Like she is so nice and very calm and collected. And even if things don't go well, she doesn't show you that things are not going well. No, she basically holds it. She does the whole thing. She answers the things that she needs to answer. And she lets the things get away from her. So she doesn't really complain. She's a professional, period. So she asked her a question. First question, background experience. We're like, okay, all right. Maybe there's a lot of people here that do not know her background, her experience. Mm-hmm. Sure. All right. Then things get weird.
How so?
There's a protocol when speaking to royalties, don't you think?
Yes.
There's a way of how you condone a conversation or you start asking questions and how do you go back and forth.
Don't tell me she called her by her first name.
No, I wish it was that. That would be much easier.
Oh.
She was trying to ask, how do you see from your point of view the changes in Saudi? This is what you want to ask.
Okay.
The question that came out from your place of privilege.
Your position of privilege and power, I believe the words that were used.
Do you see where, bro? I just looked at Shamsi. So Shamsi just looked at me and we're like, yo, what is this?
Because you're undercutting the point immediately.
Not only that.
You're immediately undercutting the point when you frame and state a question like that.
Not only that. The issue is also, I need to be like very clear. Like,
did she actually say that?
Yes, she did. 100%.
Oh, wow.
Look, I highly respect Her Royal Highness, Princess Noura Faisal, right? I respect everything that she does. I really value her so much. And the things that she does behind the scenes that people don't even know about, the things that she puts her heart into that most people are not even caring about, right? I respect that. So when you're talking to someone that I highly respect, I take it personal. So I was already boiling up. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna keep it cool. I'm gonna keep it quiet. Let's see where it goes from this. She gets to Baloo. First when she's talking to Anjid, okay? She's asking me questions, she starts replying fully Arabic. And me and Shams, we just start clapping. Like, yo, he understands his audience in front of him.
And again, like, we've been to a lot of summits in Riyadh, and a lot of the summits are, the way they're moderated, the different talks are different. You will have Arabic, sessions, and you'll have English sessions. But the session here that we are talking is about Saudi storytellers. So it felt weird to me to hear that session in English. Because if we're telling our story, then we should be telling our story our own way.
Exactly.
And if I'm coming to a creative summit in Riyadh, and I'm asking a panel that is full of Saudis to talk about how they tell their story, then at the very least, again, that's just a personal preference, but it just came off weird to me.
Yeah, it's not the best optics when you have a panel about Saudi stories and the panel is basically
No. If you have English panelists or international panelists, then it's completely normal and natural for you to conduct the panel in English. But you don't. That's not the case
Saudi
here.
Stories.
Yeah, Saudi stories being told by Saudi people, and again, just completely weird.
I did not understand the question of asking Her Highness about her point of view of the changes in Saudi. She's in Saudi, talking to Saudis. We all have the same point of view.
We've lived the changes together.
Like we've grown into this. Like there's nothing that she's gonna say that we're not already feeling, that she's already feeling. Nothing that we're not all already agreed.
So that's how I feel like the talk was just approached in a weird way, because the way that I would have framed that talk is, hey, considering that you are part of this change, you're experiencing this change, you're living this change, and you sometimes are the leaders of the change. Like Hussein Al-Rida is the guy that, by his own willpower, instituted the beginning of the Saudi Rowing Federation. He decided to join a rowing team in his undergrad studies. He grew and thrived. And then when he asked for support from Saudi, he got it. And that's one of the things that he talked about in his talk. I appreciated his talking point so much because like he knew what he wanted to say. But you as a moderator are supposed to lead people through this.
Exactly. You're supposed to ask leading questions and let them elaborate on that and explain what they feel, right? But it gets worse. She goes to Baloo. Go ahead.
Before you start, the best practice when you have a panel is that you give the panelists the set of talking points. They are aware what type of questions they're getting. They respond back to you ideally with what they're responding with. So basically we can tell the story together. ما حد يدخل المفروض ما حد يدخل على عمل.
That didn't seem to be the case.
That wasn't the case.
That did not seem
when
to be
she
the
got
case
to Baloo, right? Baloo, we love him. We had him on the podcast. We were all very good friends with him, and we respect him more than anything else. She asks Baloo, "How did it feel to DJ in Saudi?" Do you know how many times I heard Baloo answer that question in the last 7 years?
That seems very common.
Like Baloo got sick and tired of answering that question. There are way bigger things that Baloo is doing right now. There's bigger things that he did in his personal life that is way more important today than him DJing for the first time. Like these questions, we already passed it a long time ago. You're asking me questions that you should have asked in 2019. Why are you asking these questions today in Saudi, in front of Saudis, in front of people that already know who I am? You already started at 11:15. By the time you got to Baloo, it was 11:30, and there was only like a couple of his friends there. There was no one else.
And that tells you why we were frustrated, because we really wanted to get some value out of this. Because we look up to these people. I look up to these people, and I think everybody should look up to these people. These are people that have pioneered, that have led, that have built, that have created, and they are role models in their own ways, every single one of them, you know? Like the perseverance it took to get to where they are, the dedication they put into their craft, the love and the passion they have for what they do, you know? And it just seemed that the way you represented it to me and you showed it to me was nowhere near the level that was needed to allow them to tell their story. You failed at that basic function, you know?
And now we're like, you know what? They got one more person
left. We were really pissed.
Yeah, like Hussein is left. After Hussein, right? This should be wrapped up, right? The moderator was all over the place. Like to the point that she forgot some of the things that she was thinking about asking and tried to play it off. So we're like, okay, you know what? Fine. Like Adid, don't be picky. Just enjoy the vibe. just calm the fuck down.
He's not reflecting to you, you know, what he was actually going through.
Yeah, this is me trying to act like I was very calm and collected, right?
Yeah, I can imagine.
We get to Hussein.
You haven't even seen it.
Oh, we get to Hussein, right? Hussein tells us this amazing story about how he started, how when he did his first competition, he looked up, he saw the Minister of Sports, His Royal Highness Abdulaziz bin Turki, and he saw Her Royal Highness Princess Zima Bender, the US ambassador, were there to support him.
Waving the Saudi flag.
Exactly. He's like, I saw them waving the flag, and then my friends are asking
I
me,
waved
is this
back
your
to them.
family? They're like, oh no, that's actually His Royal Highness and Her Royal Highness, and they were surprised how the government is supporting. Beautiful story.
Yeah.
Gave us a beautiful story. Guess what was the next question, number one?
What?
Tell us, how do you feel about these media outlets talking about Saudi sports washing?
لا.
Bro, this man is in Saudi. He's between his people. Us in Saudi don't give a living fuck what these other tabloids do and what the media says.
The word
We've
here-
never given a shit.
The word here is read the room.
The
Why?
word here
No,
is
don't even
told-
fucking read the room. Why are you asking a stupid question in Saudi to a Saudi in front of Saudis about some bullshit that someone abroad is fucking bringing up? You are not fit for this. And so what I did was, after the sports washing, I lost my shit. And I looked around and I found Mia, the co-founder of the Creative Summit or Industry Summit, what the fuck it's called. And so I made my way to her. I sat right behind her. I was like, hi, who chose her? She was like, I did. I was like, that was a very bad choice. She was like, why? I was like, it's obvious she doesn't know any of them. It's obvious that she's not prepared. It's disrespectful in so many ways to talk about sports watching, to talk about privilege, to talk about any of these shit. You have a royalty on stage. And this is how you choose to behave. You don't understand this country. You don't understand this culture. I know for a fact that your moderator, this was the world. She had the chance to talk to a royal princess, to a Saudi sports athlete who's one of the best, the CEO of Middle East. You have, in Jeddah, you have like so many these creative, amazing people on the panel. I know for her, it was amazing. For her. For her. For you. Not for us. I didn't pay this fucking money to come and hear some bullshit. Yo, I'm here to hear their stories about their everyday life and what they could do. I'm not here to answer tabloids and shit. What the fuck are you doing here? This is the problem when you go somewhere and you think you know the fucking game. You think you got this on lock. You think you understand how things are happening. This is the issue. It's a money grab. Any businessman will tell you it's a money grab. You bring zero value. No one should support you. Jack should not support you. Ministry of Media should not support you. None of these sponsors should fucking support you. You did absolutely nothing for the community. But you came, you brought your people, you paid them, they had a ball, they came and sell merchandise, they enjoyed themselves, and you pieced out. You're like every single entity that comes to Saturday to collect checks and bounce. That's exactly how you acted. This is exactly what you showed to me. You didn't show that you understood where you were. You didn't show that you understood the audience. You didn't show that you were bringing value. It looked like you were leashing. You came to suck as much as you can and walk the fuck out. This is how it looked to me. This is how I felt. This is how a lot of people that paid to have a booth felt. This is what a lot of people that I talked to, I was like, yo, tell me something positive. I'm not going to day 2 and day 3. Everyone came to me and was like, more the same, just more people. I talked to people who sat through the talks. I was like, how was it? It's like, I did not pay money to have someone tell me, you can do it. What value did I get from someone telling me, oh, if you work hard, you'll make it successful? Like, bitch, I could do that to myself. My parents telling me if you work hard, you'll be successful. I'm not here to listen from someone doing that.
My parents tell me I'm a failure.
This is the difference.
Okay, that's the wrong direction. Okay, we're trying to be affirmative here.
Sometimes I
all
need
the
it.
right direction.
You know, no, just saying.
It could be also the right direction.
Don't try, number one.
Don't
Never try. No, but tone deaf. And for me, the experience that myself and Adil had was
Big Shams.
a very tone deaf experience. And honestly, it just left us like really disappointed. He was boiling. I was genuinely disappointed because I wanted more. I expected more. I came for more.
I barely leave the house. And if I leave, it has to be for something important. Or if I'm going to attend something, not even food, bro. Got to chefs and stuff. But anyway,
Correct.
Multiples.
So I make sure if I'm out something worth value of my time. And when I saw the panel, these are people that I respect. So I would love to go there and see what they have to say. But I go there, you did not take it serious. Your moderator did not take it serious. I'm sure that she's a nice person. I'm sure that she's amazing. I'm sure that she has no flaws in life. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about as a person that doesn't know anybody, that just came to see this, I saw them disrespect people that we highly respect. And it was really annoying and frustrating. And even after, we were talking to a few of our friends, and they were like, it's like, I have no idea why am I here. Like, I have no idea why did I come here. I have no idea why my friends are here. I have no idea why other people are here. Some people thought it was like a Middle East event. They thought they'd come and enjoy themselves. Like, this is how everything was not clicking. And maybe some people did get something out of it. I really hope.
I really genuinely hope so.
I really hope so. For the money that they had to pay,
honestly,
I
sincerely,
really hope so.
Again, when you're talking about the creative industry, though, definitely we want to grow. Definitely we want to develop. Definitely we want to get better. And for me, when this kind of thing, the goal should be that. Is how can I genuinely nurture? How can, like when you go to a place like, what's it called? The one in Texas, SXSW. You know,
South by Southwest.
South by Southwest. Okay, like it's a place where you know you're gonna go and you're gonna get something out of it. And maybe this is not a good example because that's a huge established thing, but that's at least what you should be aspiring to, right? I didn't get that feeling.
I understand that we're trying to bring international forms to Saudi and to have it active here, but if this is what it's just gonna be,
If this is the standard,
if this is what it's supposed to be, we're doing a completely stupid job.
and honestly, I would love to see us create our own.
You know, let's elaborate and make it worse. All right. A lot of the people who quit their jobs and start focusing on being creatives and following their passion, for the last year and a half, things have been falling down. We saw a lot of brands go down. We saw a lot of artists quit. We saw a lot of people in different industries that has to do with creativity go back to their day job because they couldn't survive it.
True.
And you're asking for 500 riyal for some people who are struggling right now to come and attend and do what? Do nothing?
Watch other people talk.
it is more valuable for me to spend that time on LinkedIn trying to connect with people than paying you $500 to get nothing but a bunch of empty words.
I think the value proposition was, hey, there's going to be other people here who also work in the creative industry. I genuinely think this was the value proposition. I think they thought
And what
that
value
there's
does that,
value there.
okay,
you know?
what value does it give you?
Allowing you a chance to network.
We have
You
XP where everybody's networking.
No, and not just that. I feel like, and especially in Saudi, I feel like there is an under, a network of communication that is going on between these creative entities. These
Already,
guys
yes.
know each other.
They all know each other.
You know,
I know.
these guys all know each other. These guys
Exactly.
have worked with each other. You leave one creative house, you go to another one. But again, for me, part of the issue is the use of the word creative, because what is creativity? What we saw did not scream creativity to me.
They just screamed, give me your money.
It screamed a very specific subtext of, corporate marketing. That's what it seemed like.
Yeah.
And yes, there is creativity there. There's a whole lot of creativity there. But does that encompass the field? Or is this really what you're trying to sell? Because for me, again, and the fact that I'm still thinking about what the actual value proposition is should tell you how fucking confusing it was.
Look, I know you're trying to sugarcoat as much as you can.
No, I'm
but
sure.
there's nothing to sugarcoat.
Yeah, I don't think
there's
that's-
absolutely nothing to sugarcoat. It's disrespectful in so many ways. You disrespected our people. You disrespected our community. You disrespected our business. And all you did was come and just use us and abuse us and use the name creativity and take money from big sponsors. I'm going to tell you what a friend of mine told me. He was like, some of these sponsors, I've been chasing them for a year and a half. And they would not even look at me. And now I come to this place where I'm not even getting paid to be here. And I'm just looking at these sponsors that I couldn't touch, but you got to. But this is what you served us. Which means it's a money grab.
Mm.
I know that you might have some debts to pay in Egypt, but that's another conversation. But again, I'm going to let that just slide in real quick, right? Don't come and just grab all the big sponsors and just give me optics and have your social media
Give
team.
me optics.
Have your social media team take all these reels and shit and show me, oh, the people came and people did and people. And then when you talk to people, like, yo, bro, it was hot as hell. I was enjoying myself. I'm sweating the whole time. I'm seeing the same people that I saw 100 times.
But guess what? See how nice this reel is? See how nice these pictures are?
And here's my 500.
Give me some likes.
Well, anyway, forget about them. It is what it is. It's over. Thank God.
We had a much better weekend following that, thankfully.
Did we? I don't know about you.
I did.
We're not going to talk about it here, though.
Honestly. Yeah.
Tell me how you really feel, Adil.
Not yet. What I really feel is because what I just said a second ago, because the reason I'm angry is we are watching the slow death of creatives, of Saudi creatives, to be very specific. And I think it's going to be very hard for us to pick ourselves up because there was a lot of promises over the last couple of years and people did their best to hold on and really believe. And now it doesn't look like it. A lot of the people that we knew that were passionate about fashion decided, you know what, a 9 to 5 is good. A lot of artists that we know, whether it's musicians or art or whatever it is, they were like, yeah, I think a 9 to 5 is good. There's people that I've never thought, they had so much hype around them that I never thought that they're going to go anywhere else but stay in that lane because there was so much hype around them. And then when you talk to them, they're like, bro, I'm in all these events, but no one's paying me. Asked to go and do something, and if I say, well, this is how much I'm charging, like, no, man, you're too expensive. How about 5,000? It's like, I'm not gonna pay my value. I'm getting told to keep going because I'm amazing and I do something different than everybody else, and yada 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 yada. But like, bro, like, no one's offering anything really.
Yeah, amazing doesn't keep the lights on.
Exactly. And over the last year and a half, we slowly saw brands dying. We slowly saw people in the creative community step out and go back to what used to work before. People reactivated the Snapchats. People reactivated things. Like, yo, I'm gonna go back to just influencing and selling because this is not paying. Yeah, okay. I'm. Thank you for taking me to France. Thank you for taking me to the US. Thank you for taking me everywhere. But I'm not getting anything back. And honestly, I don't know. Like every time I talk to these creatives and they talk to me about this, like I don't even know what to tell them. Like I, as Adil, had a hard time talking to creatives to come and work on something with me if I'm not paying them. Because I felt like it was disrespectful for me to get, yo, come with me with your art and I don't pay you. So I always did my best not to ask for help and just basically like if I got the cash to do what I want to do with you, I will pay you and we'll do it together. If I don't, then I'm gonna just shut the fuck up. I'm not gonna ask you for a favor. I'm not gonna bullshit you. I'm not gonna sell nothing to you. And then when I talk to them, it turns out this is exactly what's been happening for them for like 2-3 years. Yo, exposure this.
Exposure
Yo,
sells.
this for that. Yo, we come. Oh, this is sponsored by you know who? Oh, it's gonna be big. And then I'm there and I don't get paid. And they're like, oh, well, we flew you. Okay, like thank you, I guess, but that's not what I'm here for. Like I'm trying to move my things, and everyone's just
And
I don't know what to say, bro.
and
It's
I
really
think
painful.
the other part of it is maybe, part of not getting paid is at least maybe if I'm able to build a network or able to build this circle of people who I know if I'm raising you, you're raising me. Like we're going up together here, and that I also feel is lacking here, like in the local creative scene, at least, that connection between people that allows them to really bring, because it's a new industry, it's a new field. Obviously, people are going to focus on themselves and developing themselves. And people, for a while did get some attention. They did get the buzz that allowed them to feel like, hey, maybe things are moving in a different direction. But then the winds shifted. I don't know where the change happened or where it started.
Reality
where it came
hit. No one was actually willing to really fund you for your art.
from.
That's the reality of it. Again, we're not the right people because some of us come from a business background, so they kind of actually like did the due diligence on all of this. So I'm not gonna blame like everybody for this, but I caught it early on. I was like, if I'm not getting paid, you're not using my influence. If I'm not getting paid, I'm not coming to your event. Because if everyone allowed that to happen, none of us will ever get paid. And that's exactly what happened. Nobody's getting paid. Because all of us allowed, let's go for the exposure. Let me go do this so people can see me, so they can see my brand.
My one piece of advice, if somebody tells you, do it for the exposure, do not associate with that person in any official capacity. No.
Look, it's easy for you to say that because you're not the one with a special talent that you're trying to get people to see. But if you're a person that's working really hard trying to get this business off the ground, you're never going to say no. And they know that.
Because you're looking for that opportunity. You're looking for that
Exactly.
one thing that you don't know. Maybe this one opportunity will lead you to a door that ends up helping and building,
but
right?
again, rationally speaking, you shouldn't hang your hopes on maybe. You should hang your hopes on what's in front of you.
Keep in mind, you just said rationally speaking and then hopes. Those two don't go together, my guy.
Yeah.
That's what
Again,
I'm
like-
saying. You rationally, you shouldn't have hope, but hope is what keeps me going, my guy. As a creative, hope is I hope that one day this shit gonna work out and I get paid.
No wonder your family tells you to fail.
See,
It's the hate.
like
keeps
it's
me
called
going.
that's called affirmations. I believe in myself. I am a beautiful brown man that can make shit happen, right?
Excuse me?
But no,
Let him live. Let him
but
live.
no, that's what I'm saying. Like they need that hope. You can't live without that hope.
They're literally living on hope.
Yeah, fine. But again, there's a difference between, hey, we're gonna have you for this event, you're gonna have to perform, but the flight and accommodation are on you. بس تعال. For example.
It is really actually fucked up.
That's actually something that happened.
Yeah, we know people that happen to them.
Yeah, but
Like,
again-
we're paying you this much, but you need to pay this much to get here.
Yeah. That's not a thing. Like either you need, like I get it. You want to have your big break, but there's at some point you have to see the writing on the wall that you're being exploited at some point.
Do you know what's the problem?
What?
The problem is that they'll tell you, if you don't say yes, we're not bringing you back again. This is the problem.
في غيرك عشرة. It's that simple. If you don't like it, he will. And he'll be my guy.
The only people that have value and they know they're valuable are the people who are connected, and that connection is keeping them alive. And people are not fucking with them because of their connection. Those are the only people. The people that do not have that connection, they don't have a choice. Your own people, دق عليك واحد سعودي بيقول لك, if you don't say yes, we're not calling you again. Your own people are threatening you. They're not looking at your art. They're not believing in you. No, they have a KPI that they just need to finish real quick. And I need you to say yes so I can finish this KPI.
So play along, please. Sir.
So as an artist, when you're getting these phone calls and you're getting this kind of attitude, you're not going to be happy to keep going.
The word is disheartening,
Yeah.
dispiriting, at the very least.
We saw people walk away from their art. And as much as like, yo, you shouldn't, they're like, bro, like, don't tell me nothing. Your view of the world is so different than mine. I saw the doors close in my face, and I'm the one who got the threats, not you. Even though, like, we also got threats, but that's a different
That's
conversation.
a whole
That's
different
a whole
conversation.
different conversation.
Whole lot of different conversations.
Yeah.
Bunch, actually.
Yes, yeah, but we don't care. So, like, I don't know how to feel about this because we were so happy 4 years ago when we saw all these new people come out. And now we're watching the people that we thought they're going to be champions. We're not even given the opportunity to be champions. They were used. They were put up. They were in events.
والله وحش.
That's it. That's it.
They were lionized, but they weren't paid. The problem is I'm not getting paid at the end of the day. The problem is there is a lack of appreciation for what I can create. And maybe that's the kind of thing that requires time, right? Because
Really?
Like maybe. That's what I'm saying.
Or maybe we should have been way more realistic and say that, hey, not all of you are going to make it.
That's fair.
Because I remember,
How dare you be honest?
yes,
No. How dare you be realistic, Adil?
I'll take you back. Do y'all remember around 2016, 2017, when everybody was an entrepreneur?
Everybody had a food truck.
Well, that was part of it.
Everybody had a coffee?
Everybody had
You
a
remember that,
cupcake
right?
shop.
Yes.
When
Cupcake shop.
everyone was an entrepreneur and everybody's talking about entrepreneurship and everyone's doing talks and everyone's like, hey, all of you can make it. All of you can be entrepreneurs. Remember that hype? And then,
I have a hair treatment center. And like,
Okay.
but do you remember that, right?
Yes.
They convinced everybody to quit their jobs and start running their own business.
لو ما تشتري كوب قهوة.
Okay, no, we're not going to go back to the coffee thing again, all right?
Yeah.
So anyway, they convinced everybody. I knew people that can barely put two sentences together telling me about, yo, I'm going to be an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
I'm going to go open up my own business. All it costs is $1,500 to get a commercial registration. Well, after you're done with the membership and so on, it's about like 5,000 something, but that's a different conversation. But anyway.
ابو عدول عنده الفورمه حافظها.
But anyway, then you have to rent and بلدية.
أيوة.
By the time
There
you're done,
we
it's like
go.
300,000.
There we go.
And then you still didn't get health
You
insurance.
need a
yet.
fire alarm system you're about to do.
The security system.
Exactly.
لازم مر على البلدية.
لازم كاميرا.
لازم مر على الشرطة. لازم مر على الدفاع المدني. Like there's a process to
And
it.
then you
Okay.
have to hire people.
Yeah, but I don't have the money because I spent it on, startup.
ايه بس بتطلع تراخيص عشان نجيب واحد يعني.
So anyway, they convinced all these people to quit their jobs and become entrepreneurs. And then within 4 or 5 years, everyone was like, okay, we're all closing down and we're all in debt.
We're all broke.
Exactly.
We're all
Let's go back to our day jobs.
brokey days.
And that's what happened. So this felt like the same thing. You told everybody, yo, everybody has a place here. Show us what you're made out of. We're going to start from the kids and go all the way up. You are the OGs. You're the ones who are going to lead the future.
But they were the OGs يا بدول.
Yeah, until when the OGs said, can we get paid? They're like, OGs shouldn't get paid. We're honoring you.
Maybe it's a okay no.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'm gonna say that.
So,
Here's the thing.
I don't know,
Adil.
bro.
When
It's awful.
when I see a person who is wearing Yeezys and a thobe and a bracelet that's kharazat, I see, entrepreneur.
It's a big subsegment there.
Entrepreneur.
Oh, entrepreneur.
Man bun, entrepreneur. Modern.
I see that Rolex that ticks in the wrong way. It must be real.
Entrepreneur. No.
See what you just talked about was the crop,
Yes, and
right?
when he
So now the job is finding the cream of that crop.
Yeah, and-
Everybody, the rest of the crop, bro, gets cropped.
Then what happens when the cream is the one that's actually leaving?
Well, that's not a very good crop.
Exactly.
Like you're gonna need to rethink your cropping strategy.
Exactly. I don't. Bro, the question I ask myself all the time, I think,
what happened to my hair?
no, not really. That's a you problem, not a me problem.
Oh yeah, correct. yeah.
Exactly.
I'm sorry. Me.
Like, do we really care about Saudi business?
I do.
Number one, just ignore this guy. I know he's thinking about food right now.
No, I'm not.
That's all he's thinking
No,
about.
I'm not.
Okay, what other side of business do you support?
I mean, generally, you know what? Like every time there's a Saudi movie out, let's go watch that
Yes.
Saudi movie, right? Like I
As a consumer,
purchase Noog.
No,
as,
you
a,
don't.
as a consumer, Mister, I like everything kumbaya, man.
Mm-hmm.
As a consumer, I am targeting quality and what satisfies my needs and desires. If it's local, abso-fucking-lutely I'll go local. But that's rarer and rarer nowadays.
Rare and rarer?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
How can I say this? You're charging a premium for a non-premium product a lot of the time.
That's true.
Okay.
That's 100%.
I love how like respectfully you're saying this. Okay.
Yeah. Have you listened to me in these past episodes? I'm Mr. Respectful.
Sure.
Yes,
Sure.
correct.
Sure you are.
Yes.
Sure you
As
are.
you always were. number
On
one.
this podcast.
Should I leave the first 10 minutes before we started the podcast?
No, I will be in jail.
Exactly. That's what I thought.
I love how he knows
Exactly. I'm Mr. Respectful.
Yeah.
Keep going.
And the fact that you are Saudi and the fact that you are local isn't as much of a selling point as you think it is. Okay, great. Have kafu, ولدنا, yay, kumbaya, but اخرتها business and commerce is عطني أعطيك. أنا بعطيك فلوس. What are you giving me in return? If it's quality, great.
If it's just quantity,
Well,
with a high price.
There's a lot of quality though.
no, we're
Is
not
there
saying there's
not?
no quality.
Yeah,
We're not
That's not
saying-
what we're saying.
We-
We're saying in certain businesses, in F&B, you'll be more than happy to go to a Saudi company, right?
Yes.
You have no problem with F&B, right? And event management, you should be sticking to Saudi because no one understands the culture and the people other like Saudis,
Also
right?
true.
Correct.
So you should not be looking outside the country when it comes to events and management and so on. You could bring people who have certain expertise in lighting, 3D mapping, whatever it is.
Like, fireworks people.
Yeah, that's fine. Even though you have people here, but that's fine if you want to bring something different, right? But how to run it, how to function it, no one knows it better than our own people. So I don't need an international company to come and bring me this.
And also the needs of our own people. And how
If
to
it's a-
satisfy those needs.
Yeah, exactly. But if it's an international like event, like let's say Leap, like no, it's not World Cup. If it was like Leap has its own identity, so you know exactly what it is and how it looks like. It's made for a way broader audience than a local audience, right? So you understand why it's international, coming here doing its own thing. All that understandable. But when it comes to other sectors, a lot of people don't care about Saudi. We have a lot of creators in Saudi who have their own advertising and branding agencies that do not get the chance. People will still go, like the big money will still go to Leo Burnett and other ones because they have their legacies, right? They've been here for a long time.
The brand recognition.
They have multiple companies under the umbrella. If I don't like one, I can get the other one. That was like Jay's.
That is changing,
argument,
but I do agree.
How many companies that are local that you will say that's outside of FMB, outside of events, that you'll say, oh, I will support local?
Shuf, again, there's a difference between wanting to support local in order to build local industry. So knowing that you might not get the same amount of
Do
quality.
not give me nothing into it. Don't put me extra strings.
Ma-
I'm talking about you need to make a decision for a company that you have, and you're looking for someone to get something. You're looking for a service.
My brother, business isn't charity.
Exactly.
No, I'm not saying it's charity. I'm saying a lot of the times you can support local for different benefits rather than, what's the best value I can get for my money?
No.
No.
The only thing that informs a business decision is
No, I'm not talking about. I'm talking about consumer decision, not
and
a business
consumer
decision.
decision. I'm sorry, but if
A business decision is different.
both,
Both.
if I am buying, let's say, a hoodie that's fine quality, but because it's local and has the word Maskeen written on it for some reason,
Because
because
you charge
that-
me 475,
if
if not 600.
you better have a 475 quality. You have 250 quality, so charge me 250. I'll rock the hoodie, but I can go 2 steps over to like a local, an international recognized brand and get the same value for the higher quality and better designs.
True. That's very true.
Again, it's not a charity. Okay, Saudi, على راسي, creative, industrial, entrepreneur. I'm clapping, people.
We can hear you.
So, what else? وبعدين?
And maybe you just support مثلا what this company stands for, or what this company is trying to achieve.
That's
or
one.
the
That's different.
Yeah, exactly.
That's different.
Or what or the identity of the company. There's different
that's-
things
yeah,
that
you're
attract
talking
you
as
a consumer. Yeah, that's what I'm
Yes.
saying. As a consumer,
But
as a
a
business,
consumer is one thing.
is different.
B2B is different.
I agree completely.
And so when it comes to B2B, most companies will not support local, even if they're competent enough. Even if they have one of our friends was shooting for a huge telecom company that he was trying to win the bid, right? And he disappeared for like 2 months working on this,
True.
and they didn't get it. The company that got it didn't offer anything better than what they're offering, but it's because they got legacy. So you're like, okay,
They got the name.
yeah, they got the name. They've been here for a long time. I can trust them, even though this company's been here for over 6, 7, 8 years. It already has a place here. It's considered one of the best companies in Saudi as a local company.
We go back to to going to the international that doesn't understand the culture, doesn't necessarily know the culture as much as the local does,
Exactly.
and doesn't serve the local economy as well.
My biggest anger that keeps coming up again and again when it comes to these things is because a lot of people don't understand. I get calls from international consultancy companies to help them work on local content. And they're offering me pennies on a dollar when the entity that brought them in is giving them this huge package. And I don't know why I exist here and that entity knows that I exist and I'm a vendor at that entity, but they're not coming to me. They're coming to this person. Now, I know there's a lot of things that get into it. There could be like a bigger package, and part of the package was this. I understand all that.
Yeah,
but
there are
I'm talking about,
technicalities.
exactly. I'm looking at specific. Yo, we're looking for this. And they came to me like, oh, listen, we want to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm like, oh, I know those people. I have a relationship with those people. Like, fine, but I'll do it for X amount. And they tell me, no, we're not going to pay you that. Then I called my connection at that place. I'm like, bro, I hear. I'm like, what's wrong? And he's like, man, look, I could have put your name, but it's not going to look good. That's why I need to put an international company's name because it looks good. And so I miss out on money that can come to me for me to hire more people, for me to invest that money locally. It's going to be in the bank right here. It's going to be in my economy. It's not going anywhere else. But no, you'll do it for Whitey.
Optics.
And then for them to say, oh, look, we bought this international company and this company dealt with me. And didn't even want to pay me what my value is.
And that's the funny part. That international company will have to go to a local, whatever it is, for that local touch. Because at the end of the day,
Bro, the worst one was
know.
the worst one was when a company called me to work with them. I said yes. We were agreeing on terms. And then I get a phone call. Hey, yo, are you with these guys? I'm like, yeah. Like, yeah, I just saw your name. I was like, oh, I don't know that you were going to work with them. I was like, yeah, they reached out to me for your project. He's like, yeah, I saw that. I was like, it's crazy, bro. It's just crazy. All right, peace. Bro, like you could have saved a lot of money. Just, yo, homie. But dude, finish this.
It's crazy, bro.
Exactly.
It's crazy, bro.
It's crazy.
It's crazy. It's crazy. It's crazy.
This is what angers me the most. Like, yo, I exist, but I do. Nah. Like, you shouldn't. Like, bro, like, I don't know why I keep doing this. And then, like, lately, I've been saying no. Every time I get a phone call, hey, yo, 1, 2, 3, 4. Nah, I'm good. Nah, I'm good. Like, since last year, since July last year, I've been saying, no, I'm good. No, I'm good. No. If I'm not dealt with directly, I do not want to deal with anyone else. Because the problem is, they're not going to know who I am after this, right? So they're never going to come to me. They need to know me for them to come to me. And the person that I'm going to rely on over there that's going to see my name over and over again, he has a job. So he might leave that job for another job. So someone new is going to come in. And I have to go through the same cycle of building relationships and showing, oh, I'm here. I'm local. Bro, like, I don't get this. Like, we talk about support local, but no one's really supporting local.
Local should support local.
And the problem is also you don't blame local for not supporting local.
Because you said that you're not going to find the quality. You're not going to find the thing that you really, sometimes, and sometimes there is that real fear of an EO. Like, these guys have been doing it for longer. So they probably do. And that's the thing that kills you.
Exactly.
The probably is where you get fucked, because that you're basing it on an assumption at the end of the day. You're basing it on a hope at the end of the day. Like, yo, these guys know what they're doing. My experience, a good number of times, they don't.
Not only that,
And that's my experience.
demoralizes us as a community, as local business.
It's condescending.
And when you're asking, yo, where's the young entrepreneurs? Where's these young creatives, these Saudi creatives? When you're asking, where are we? We've been here, but you did not care enough.
It's like
Yes.
katna shams.
Yeah, like you didn't care enough to actually really support local and make sure that I get up. Rather than you talking to that consultancy, do what Aramco used to do. Hey, Adil, come here. We have this project, but we want you to team up with this person and lead the project.
Consortium. What is
Exactly.
this? What is consortium? I don't know this word, but teach me this word. You know,
Right?
Trust. What is this?
This way, I have an idea about what's going on. I build my business. I build my reputation with you. You see my work. You see how I manage my things. It opens me up. Next time that you need to do work done, I'll just call Adil again. Adil will call his connects, and they'll get the work done.
But that's too logical. That's best of both worlds
It
approach.
sucks supporting local, right?
Yeah, I'm like best of both worlds approach. هذا it's too much paperwork, bro. خلني اسهل السالفه دق على مارك خليه يجيب جون معه كين صكها في راسهم اذا ما مشت.
قول له وين جيري؟ جيري موجود.
جيري في جهاز الحين راح صيد. ما عليك خلص من شنغهاي.
زوجته حامل.
ايش فيك؟ هاي الثالثة.
يا الله. طيب ادول متى جاي ادول؟
ما رجال خليك منهم بس. تعرف جيري؟
جيري. يا الله. Anyways, that's enough ranting for one day.
Yeah.
Let's talk about one thing before we bounce.
نبي نروح البيت يا بدول.
Did you see the New York and Dublin portal?
Bro, that shit was funny. They should stop doing this shit. They should really stop doing this shit.
They should do it more.
No.
I respected New York for thinking that this was going to be a good idea.
No, sure. Honestly, I'm surprised that, the fuckery came from the Dublin side. Yeah.
Yeah, look, Americans do not know that a lot of people don't like them. They don't have that idea. International politics doesn't run in the day-to-day course.
I think the idea was يا اختي انتوا English speaking احنا English speaking يلا خلينا نسولف سوا لا نقدر نسولف
Yeah, they're English speaking because they were forced to become English speaking. Gaelic is a thing that exists, by the way. Yeah.
I mean, I'm just saying, Irish have had a tough time.
And to some people, Gaelic is a sport. But anyway, don't say I love the fact how knowing New Yorkers actually believed in New York. And it's funny how Dublins were like, this is our chance.
Yeah,
this is literally our chance.
Fuckery begin.
The thing is, I loved it. I really love that idea. It's a simple idea with internet.
And honestly, it's been executed a bunch of. This is not an original idea. It's so basically it's called the tunnel. What's it called?
Portal.
The portal. So it's basically two big screens on different sides of the world.
It's a huge webcam.
That are connected to each other.
Exactly.
It's like if you stand in front of this screen, you see somebody else standing in front of the same screen in Dublin.
It's a cool thing.
It's a cool thing. You get to see a different city. You get to see different people. You get to see different fashion. Like there's a lot of things that are nice about it. Until somebody starts fucking around, basically.
But I wish like they have one like in London and Baha. That'd be a wild.
خلي لندن يتفرجون على الباحة. يشوفون what they're missing out on.
I guarantee you my cousins will pull that thing up and start taking you around. You can see all Baha. وريهم الجماعة دخل الحوش.
But
شوفوا هذه أوكسفورد ستريت. السلام عليكم أوكسفورد ستريت.
هذا الدكان جدي.
it was closed because one of the
A Dubliner.
a Dubliner decided to get very comfortable.
Which one?
I don't know.
The girl?
The girl.
No, it wasn't because of that.
No.
Was it because,
No.
Bro.
We look, it's New York and Dublin. We expected nudity. Okay. We're not surprised by it.
No, that's not why they shut it down.
The other one when someone was showing the towers.
Basically,
I remember that.
someone had I think it was a video of the Twin Towers as
Sir. That's not get demonetized.
Yeah, exactly.
I think people get what we're talking about here.
basically.
the bad thing that's happened.
That was actually one of them also. But it was like multiple things.
It's like
And I thought it was that one specifically. And I'm like, yo,
but
that's just messed up.
that was one of the big ones.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
messed up.
Because it happened multiple times.
I can imagine like, hey Seamus, look what I'm gonna do.
I like the fact how New York thought, maybe there's two lovers will meet each other through the portal and then get
I'm like,
married.
Why the fuck would
Ha-ha.
I do that?
Because they're New Yorkers.
It's-
They dream.
They have hope?
Exactly.
Do they really?
They live on hope.
I mean, I didn't think New York has had hope.
No,
I think if there's one
They
place in America that doesn't
function
have hope,
And they hope.
it's New York.
They hope someone would. This is a New Yorker's hope.
That's their stock of hope.
You wake up every morning wishing and hoping
okay.
someone would.
So the stock of their daily hopium is that.
Yes.
Okay.
You go outside looking for someone that's wishing and hoping.
I love how much you can relate to this. Yeah, dude, honestly.
My people.
Do you still wake up every day and wish
Every day.
someone?
I was just hoping on a summit a second ago.
I wish that someone would.
Oh, I wish they would.
I wish a summit would.
The fact that she lied to me and said, like this person, she's friends with all of them. That was ridiculous, bro. Like, do not lie to me to my face. Have some respect.
But that portal thing is
Like, here's the thing: if I was a New Yorker and I see somebody pulling up the towers, I'm like, I'm gonna put a sack of potatoes and just throw it on the ground.
All right.
Okay, that's a little bit too out of date for most
Potato
Irish.
famine.
Yeah,
Let me see if there's anything news before we bounce.
200 years ago.
200 years ago, you think?
Potato famine, 180 years ago.
No, let me just drop it down a little bit.
Supposedly, yeah.
Well, I have a bunch of questions that I'm going to leave to next week because we're going to deep dive into it.
Because we get new content.
Okay, the most important thing on my notes that I don't want to forget, I would like to apologize to Wissam,
Okay.
the homie that we met. Shout out to Wissam. I don't know your last name, dog.
Thank you for coming and saying hi to us
And I apologize that you had to meet me
publicly.
publicly.
Adil apologizes publicly.
Adil in public is not someone you want to hang out with unless you really know the vibe.
As you know, many of Shamsi's friends have discovered to their astonishment recently.
Yeah, your little friend that we met over there, right?
Many of Shamsi's friends.
Not just a little friend? Okay, all right.
Many of Shamsi's friends.
Yeah, so shout out to Wissam. We appreciate you, dog. Nothing but love. I caught him off guard with a naked
You
joke.
really caught him off
Yeah,
guard,
he
bro.
didn't see it coming, and I apologize for that.
Wissam is someone who just came and he said that he appreciated it. We just met him. I just met him during the summit, and then he turned and was like, "This is Adil." And he's like, "Oh, Adil from the podcast." And Adil thought he was a friend of mine, so he got real comfortable real quick.
What did you say?
Not on the podcast, son.
Oh.
Can't do it on the podcast. It's, cancellation is my vibe and all.
He told me to stop making friends. That's literally what he told me.
Who told whom?
Adil
I told him
me.
to
He's
stop
like,
making
"Shamsi,
friends."
stop making friends.
Yeah, I agree, Adil.
Yes, 100%. Bro, like, you know what's the problem? Because he has a certain personality with people. A personality that I don't like, right? But people like it.
The nice
Big
one.
Shams?
The nice
Right?
one.
Sure, nice.
Yeah.
Sure, right? So all of them, when they see Shamsi, they want to come and say hi. So because they know Shamsi, they think they know me. So they try to give me the same energy. And that doesn't work with me. Like, I'm not him. So like, you come to me, talk to me with some respect, and we just end it there. If you try to be funny, I'm going to be extra funny. And you're not going to like my funny because my funny is for me. It's not for y'all. I'm going to joke for myself to enjoy.
This is the Kendrick school of escalation.
No, this is the I don't give a fuck about your opinion school of escalation.
That's not about opinion. It's just about like, you try to be funny, take these jokes. Just take these jokes.
These jokes. Trauma.
Bro,
That
one
goes along-
of his friends, bro, she,
Of course, it's a she.
of course.
Of course.
Bro, I'm sure there was some lonely nights that did عليا. Like I'm so sure 100%. When I came to say hi to her, she's like, hi. I'm like, okay, never mind. I'm gonna shake your hand. Get your dirty hand off of me.
So,
Bye,
yeah.
Shams. Anyway, shout out to Tesla. Shout out to Tesla viewers. We appreciate it. Thank you for being here. We appreciate you. I go home. Enjoy yourselves. Have a good night. We'll see you next Sunday.
Peace.
Maybe, because these guys might actually complain, and then we'll go through this same process again.
We're here.
Of course we're here.
We're here.
I know.
Peace.
There was some fashion thing, but we're not going to talk about. Peace.
Peace.